Joyce Carol Oates was born June 16, 1962. She lived in Lockport, New York with her two younger siblings and her mother and father. She lived a simple, normal life. Her father was a tool designer and her mother was a housewife. Oates was always an academically gifted student who excelled in her school through her writing technique. She became interested in writing in high school, in which she wrote her first novel, which she got turned down by publishers because they all believed her story was too depressing and dark. She pushed on and overcame rejection by writing short stories all throughout high school as well as college. She pursued her dream and continued with her education at Syracuse University, where she graduated with a master's degree. She took her master's degree to Detroit, in which she became a teacher. That same year, she found one of her short stories in Margaret Foley's collection, Best American Short Stories. From then on, she knew she had the ability to achieve the writing career she had wanted all her life. Oates' first novel ever published was By the North Gate, which launched her career in writing. Oates was known for writing about harsh topics and was often questioned by fans and critics as to why her work is so dark and twisted.
I don't consider light-hearted comedy and, casual things the highest art. For me, I want to write about people in extremis. I want to write about things that matter and heartrending little things.
Two novels that exemplify the harsh themes written by Oates were Freaky Green Eyes and After the Wreck I Picked Myself Up, Spread My Wings, and Flew Away. In the novel Freaky Green Eyes, Frankie Pearson lived a normal, stable lifestyle in which her parents were happily married and her father was a well-known and loved sports broadcaster named Reed Pearson. Frankie's life got torn apart when her mother started being secretive and left every weekend to escape to a cabin far from their home. Her mother and father began to fight constantly, and Frankie saw bruises on her mother's body as well. It was odd to Frankie because her father began to put his hands on her and her little sister too. Soon her mother became missing after her father accused her of cheating, and everyone thinks she is dead. The media blames her father, but Frankie knows it wasn't him. She thought it couldn't be, but she has a strange feeling he has something to do with it. Frankie feels like it is her job to figure out what happened to her. Many similarities in theme and storyline were found in After the Wreck I Picked Myself Up, Spread My Wings, and Flew Away. Jenna Abbott suffered a tragic loss of her mother in a car accident which she holds herself responsible for. She decides to avoid her once abusive father and lives with her Aunt Caroline instead. While trying to deal with the absence of her mother, Jenna turns to drugs and alcohol to escape her guilt. Jenna goes through an emotional journey that changes her life forever. In each novel, the theme of female empowerment was shown by both Frankie and Jenna when they lost their mothers and recovered from it. Abusive environments were also shown in the novels, which both girls rose above and turned their lives around for the better. Joyce Carol Oates was an active feminist. Through her writing and thematic sequence she kept constant throughout most of her novels, she has promoted female resistance to male abuse. Although she does not like to label herself a feminist, many of her novels include a rise of a female over a man trying to hold them back. Joyce Carol Oates had pulled inspiration from many current situations and events taking place around her as well. In 2000, when she wrote the book After the Wreck I Picked Myself Up, Spread My Wings, and Flew Away, a major shift in the amount of teens abusing drugs and alcohol had taken place. A recent study showed a major increase of intake on drugs and alcohol in teenagers in America. The presence of certain characters in Jenna's life in particular showed the influence of drugs and alcohol had on Oates' writing. Many key components in the novel Freaky Green Eyes are similar to the events from the trial of O.J. Simpson. In Freaky Green Eyes, Reed Pearson, Frankie's father, had been a former football star and was put up for trial for the death of his wife as well as O.J. Simpson was. During the trial, the storyline was the same for O.J. Simpson and Reed Pearson, but in the book, Reed Pearson went to jail, which was what Oates believed should have been the fate of O.J. Simpson. The fact that the trial was constantly televised and broadcasted for everyone to keep updated in 1995 proved the influence it had over Oates' work.